What up, Moflow? Ready to move, ready to groove, ready to feel better? We're going to take about 10 minutes, something you can do each day, just to loosen up, chip rust off the underwear, and hopefully feel a little bit better the more you do it. So we're going to get started here, but first, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's do this. We're just going to start off in a nice little squat, making sure that the knees and toes are going in the same direction. If you need to be up high at first, that's okay. You're just going to rest your elbows on your knees, little bit of movement, settling down. Tall spine, hands to heart center on Jali Mudra, opening up those thighs. Trying to keep the spine tall, dropping the hips. If you need to, completely relax and round down. Maybe even lift the hips up. Wrap your arms around a little bit and tuck the head in. But for now, we're simply going to keep moving. But when I'm moving, I don't want you to think it's got to be a huffing and puffing, anything like that. We're just moving a little bit, ever so gently. Warming up the ankles, warming up the knees. Finding your balance, working the stability of the feet so you can lift a heel up, turn a little bit. Go to the other side, hands can be down. You can feel free to open up a little bit more with the hips, putting pressure on the inner thigh, not the joint. Going back and forth so that you're digitally balanced. Pushing one way, turning the other, pushing back slowly. Maybe even start to open up your feet a little bit wider, turning side to side, straightening out one leg, straightening out the other. Working our way upright. Kind of figuring out where you need to go. I'm just your guide, your Sherpa, kind of helping you figure out what you can do with your body. In my yoga classes, I have basically 2 rules. Gotta breathe, and if it hurts, don't do it. So we're gonna keep that movement going on. And if you wanna get a little bit more industrial strength, you can now start to come up, drop one, twist. Reaching the arms out. It's just you feeling kind of hippy-dippy, even slightly organic, moving. And don't worry, no one's watching us. Except for maybe the people outside me driving by. So you're just gonna find reaching. We've taken this motion from the bottom, lifting it up, moving it around. Digging into the toes, lifting up a heel, straightening out legs, bending knees. It's just all figuring out what you need today. Ultimately, working your way on up into a standing posture. Gonna roll those shoulders deep and wide, going backwards. Going forwards. Yeah, probably feel silly, probably look silly, but you're gonna feel good. We can take this out even further. So instead of just doing little shoulder action, you can drop down into squat, make it a little bit more challenging. going into a horse stance with a backstroke. You can go wide, bending the knees, twisting the ankles a little bit, not twisting in a bad way, you know what I mean. We're just moving some body juices, the synovial fluid, bringing it on up. When we're doing this, try and keep the hips relatively stable. You're just reaching behind, reaching forward. As many times as it feels good for you, but go back the other way. So include that in your feel-good time. And as ever, we can add on. You can drop down low, scoop it back on up high. Don't have to keep your hands together. You can pretend you're Neo from the Matrix and go backwards in bullet time. I can't, but maybe you can. And then we're just bringing it back on up to a normal, relatively good mountain pose, Tadasana. Rolling the neck a little bit. Going the other way. And shaking it out. Start to move a little bit. Drawing circles with your wrist. Imagine you're pulling a plate. You're trying to not drop that nice rhubarb pie that maybe you've got the munchies for, and you got to eat it later. That may be true, maybe not. Just saying. But you're just going to try and not drop the pie. Yep, again, it feels silly, but it's okay. We're going to go into a little Zen swing. So stabilize the feet about hip distance apart. Maybe actually quite a bit more. Fist distance apart. Fist distance together is about your hip distance apart. We're going to go a little bit wider. Because again, this is organic, it should feel good. So think noodle arms, just twisting. Not thinking about what you got going on today. Not thinking about those TPS reports that are due. But we're going a little bit more. You can go as gentle or as vigorous as you want, making a little bit of contact with the body as you start to work your way up. Start to get into a little bit more with lifting a heel up, looking back, figuring out how you can move, and then working it way back down. Slowly, we're going to take both arms out each way as if we're just chucking something. Lifting a heel, the opposite. Throw something back behind you, whatever it is, you're just throwing back. And you're just going, closing your eyes. This is the Zen swing. The other was a build up to it. And you can do this as little or as long as you want. If you notice, I'm getting a full body activity in here. And then you can bring it down again and find a way to work back down to the ground. So we're just going to start bringing that noodle arms back. We're coming down, reaching, getting into that nice squat. Each time you're reaching to the front, reaching to the back, reaching to the front, reaching to the back, getting lower. Maybe there's a little bit of a bounce. And then you're going to start to get a little groovement in your asana, moving it, grooving it, until you feel that your joints are good. You might have even built up a little bit of a heart rate up. Should feel good. I'm in a heated room, so I'm extra hot. And just as simple as we started, we're back down. Feeling a little bit better. Bringing that breath down back to a normal. So we're just going to bring it all the good stuff that we put out there and bring it back on in. I want to thank you for hanging out with me for about 10 minutes. A little bit of movement, a little bit of groovement, and I hope that you feel a lot better now. And so join me again. Remember, subscribe, like, comment, questions, anything like that. Hit me up. Moflow.